dearly beloved, we stand here today to recognize the poor souls in their predicaments. A Mr. Thomas Farr Steyer, a Miss Amy Jean Klobuchar, a Mr. Peter Paul Buttigieg, and soon to be politically suicided Michael Rubin Bloomberg. May their souls rest in peace.
Amen.
And that kicks off episode 6 of Demagogue News, Things You Need to Know About. I'm Steve.
I'm Tom.
And the topics today are
South Carolina primary, Super Tuesday, coronavirus update. Oh, man. I am sure going to miss those Tom Steyer ads on YouTube.
Oh, my gosh.
Spamming the shit.
Tom 2020. Tom 2020. Tom
Beat
2020.
him on the economy.
I'm Tom 2020.
Oh, man. And I'm definitely going to miss Pete on the debate stage. I thought he was the best
Pete was
debater.
good. Yeah, he was a good one. He wasn't fucking psycho sounding. He was a good orator.
Yeah,
what
he
you could
was.
say. He's a very good orator, like Obama. Very good speaker.
Very smart to pull out of the race at this point. Definitely saw Saturday's results.
You know, I didn't think he was going to pull out so early. I thought he was doing decent, but as with Pete and Amy, they're bringing their heads down and their knees to the ground for the mighty DNC.
And also, like, let's be fair, they were both trying to be the moderate alternative to Sanders, and
That's Joe's job, all right?
yeah,
That's
so
Joe's job. Joe's the moderate.
Welcome to the Democratic primaries, Joe Biden. Holy shit! What
Damn,
awaken
bro.
the sleeping Joseph. He
Got a fat 33.
he was looking shaky on the debate stage. Pretty much his recurring line was, "Oh, you keep shutting me up," and like he just
I've
looked-
done it.
Yeah, he
I've
looked pretty
done it.
crotchety.
God, he's crotchety. But goddamn, did the people of the Bidenverse came out in spades for in South Carolina?
Heavy. Especially the black vote. I think Biden got 61% of. Obviously.
Yeah, I think Bernie got like 19%.
Yeah,
18%. Yeah, not a lot of the
so-
black vote.
So a lot of like love for Biden out there. So his campaign is certainly a lot more alive than he is. Definitely like
Oh man,
awaken the sleeping Joseph.
awaken the sleeping Alzheimer's. What time is it? Where am I? Huh? Yeah, it's Joe did a good job. You gotta
Yeah,
hand it to him.
He rocked it.
All of his people on the ground must have did something right, because I believe I read that Tom Steyer spent like $120 million on ads in South Carolina. Now, he did get third, but he spent $120 million on advertising and got third. I don't think Bernie even went to South Carolina other than the primary. So, I mean, Bernie got second.
Yeah.
Yeah, fucked up, Tom.
I mean, like, I kind of want to know how he made all this money. It certainly wasn't in advertising. Like, isn't he a hedge fund manager?
Yeah, he had I wrote it down somewhere. Like a Falabrand. He was actually probably one of the most liquid rich people, because he had a hedge fund and then he sold it a couple years ago.
Oh,
And he
damn.
sold it for cash. So when it comes to these billionaires, like most of their money's in stock, he's got a lot of that probably liquid.
Billionaires.
The billionaires.
But he's another testament to how the woke bro approach doesn't work. Beto O'Rourke tried it, and it's pretty much like,
I don't even remember Beto.
yeah, and most people don't.
I
do.
mean Richard? He's not Latino at all. It was Richard.
Yeah,
Richard?
he's definitely not. Have you heard him speak Spanish? But
Oh, it sounds like my high school teacher. He was from England.
regardless,
accent.
it's like toting yourself as this like great white hope for the
I'm Native American too.
Yeah, the dispossessed like minorities. It's just,
The broken and the damned? Are you quoting
Yeah.
MCR?
it comes off as super disingenuous. So yeah, I'm pretty glad that Tom got axed, and Amy and Pete, they also couldn't like appeal to.
Well, at least Pete had delegates. I
Yeah.
mean, if Joe didn't do so excuse me, this is a Christian channel. If Joe didn't do so well, I mean, Peter Buttigieg was in second. He was still hanging in there,
Yeah,
but
he was.
what he got? He got fourth.
So yeah, Joe was. I remember the polling beforehand had him like either slightly above or slightly below Sanders. People were saying, "Oh, if he can eke out at least a double-digit win,
Like get half and half of the delegates.
yeah, he delivered.
Delivered. It was like a
48.8%.
Yeah,
of
like
the
a
vote.
250,000 votes.
Yeah.
Ton. Yeah. And Bernie came in second at 19%. Pulling them numbers and didn't do so well this time around. That Nevada lead didn't last very long.
Yeah, it's And it's kind of funny, too, because I think after the first 3 states, most of us assumed that Bernie was just like this unstoppable juggernaut. Like he was just going to take them to.
Secretariat's just pulling out in front of the
Yeah.
other horses.
I mean, I had said that whoever took Nevada was going to be the presumptive nominee, but South Carolina definitely puts that into question.
We'll see how tomorrow goes with Super Tuesday, but yeah, Joe fucking killed it.
Yeah. So,
you watched the debate, Tom.
oh,
How was
man.
that? I didn't even watch it.
It was terrible. If you're listening and you want to check out the debate, please don't. It's
do some little recaps. We'll skip it for you. Trash.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. It was like the moderators. It was like having a really like big pushover parent, and like
was
the
Chuck
kids
Todd
are
a
just.
moderator again?
I don't remember actually. That's how memorable it was. I don't remember. I'm pretty sure Chuck Todd wasn't a moderator. It was just them all talking over each other. It was like the kids were in charge of the classroom. It was terrible.
Oh, you mean like last time and last time and last time?
Oh no, the last one before this was awesome. Lots of shots fired. This one, it was just kind of people trying to talk
Just
over
screaming.
each other.
Yeah.
Sanders, it was definitely his worst debate. So he finally got questioned on, like you've supported authoritarian regimes like Cuba. And I thought his response was shitty, to be frank. Just said, oh, you can't deny the literacy program. And then it's like, yeah, they had we can even assume that they had a good literacy program, but they also had forced labor camps.
Soviet Union did that too. They got all the people together after the weak ones died, and man, everyone learned to read. Forced with a gunpoint because they had to go work in a factory. But I mean, hey, everyone learned to read.
Yeah, kind of easy to improve those numbers when you kill off a significant portion of your population. But anyway, and
that's nothing.
Yeah, on top of that, he was asked about in a later question about U.S. foreign policy, and he basically made us sound like we were everybody's bully, which is kind of a mentality that I think a lot of voters, specifically in South Carolina, don't resonate with.
Right. Yeah. How much aid do we send to the world? $1 gazillion a year?
I
think we spend a lot of money.
Thank you for sharing your exact facts. That's good.
A gazillion. You can quote me on that, everybody. Bullies? Yeah, maybe CNN thinks so, but South Carolina did not.
Yeah, so that's Saturday night in South Carolina changes everything for Super Tuesday.
We got two, neck to neck, basically, 57 and 51, Bernie and Joe respectively. They're, wrestling for first.
Not to mention with Klobuchar, Pete, and Tom Steyer out, those are all votes that would have been taken away from Joe Biden, so he immediately rides
you think
on
so?
that. Yes.
Well, because they're moderate. Yeah, those wouldn't be Bernie votes.
Lizzie Warren, however, is still in the race.
With her 9. She's got 9
Impressive.
total. She's working it. I think I read somewhere that her entire campaign is leveraging everything on Massachusetts.
That's not a good bet.
Well, but if they don't do well in Massachusetts, they're going to call it a day. And they're expecting that to be her best one. So if she doesn't kill it in Massachusetts, they're just going to say, screw it.
I mean, that completely ignores California and Texas, the two biggest prizes.
I'm sure she's going to go for those, but I think that's going to be the thermometer. If we can't do well here, just throw in the towel.
Yeah, if you can't win your home state, that's like Marco Rubio in 2016. Like, he lost Florida.
This was South Carolina was the first time Biden has ever won in any primary, and he's ran three times. So that means that he either didn't make it to Delaware, or he lost in Delaware. And that's where he was a senator for forever long. So, it happens.
Yeah,
what if Bernie doesn't win Vermont? The great state of Vermont.
Oh, he has to.
He has to.
He's like their hometown boy. Like, he's the most famous Vermonter to ever exist.
Oh, yeah.
So
shit happens.
Other states on the line for Tuesday are Utah, Colorado, Oklahoma, Minnesota, Alabama, Arkansas, Tennessee, Virginia, North Carolina, Vermont, Maine, and Massachusetts. So,
a large portion and a third of the delegates, because California and Texas is like a third of the entire list, or half of it. So a lot of things are going to happen on Tuesday. Who do you think, Tom, will be the victor? My vote's on the Bernie boy. I think the Bernie bros will come out and support their crowned king.
I agree with you that it'll be Sanders on top, but I'd say by a very slim margin. Joe Biden definitely going to take all the southern states in first place. Texas, I think, is going to be a close contest with a slight Bernie. Bernie might beat him by 5 points.
Do you think Biden does better in because how would you define South Carolina as a demographic state? It's diverse,
Yeah.
maybe leaning on the extra diverse side.
I mean, yeah, definitely a large like black population in South Carolina. Like maybe they make up like 40% of the population.
Yeah, that was the one thing I kept reading and that really bugged me in all the articles is they kept calling Iowa and New Hampshire lily white states.
Yeah.
It's a little on the nose there. Lily white, like, do they come in other colors? Probably. Like, do you gotta call it that exactly? But California is pretty, mixed up right
It's
there.
like
That's
everything.
melting. That's everything, melting
Yeah.
pot. Yeah, Texas. I mean, but Texas is pretty one or the other.
Yeah.
You're white or you're Hispanic,
Yeah.
and I think Bernie's got the Hispanic vote.
He does. He seems to, but that's only judging off of Nevada.
Do you think the Nevada Hispanics are different from the Tejas Hispanics?
They're definitely different than Tejanos. If you look at voting, like the split for Democrat Republican in Texas is like 60-40 among Latinos, whereas like in California it's like a 70-30.
80, yeah, 80-20, something like that. Yeah, but the Great Republic of Texas does things differently.
Yeah, they do.
They ain't so sure about this whole union thing. They got a clause in their constitution we could split off at any time. Don't fuck with us.
Yeah. So they're definitely more like centrist.
So those 40% Hispanic Democrats, do you think they would be more?
They're like 60% in Texas.
So you think that those are more moderate type of Democrats?
Yes.
So they'd lean more into the Biden territory.
Yeah,
That's
definitely.
fair. That's fair.
So I think Texas is going to be a real contest. I know Bernie just had a rally there, so he's obviously concerned about
Yeah,
it.
Bernie's in Texas. That's right. Yeah, I just read that. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
So I think Bernie will take Colorado.
Yeah, Bernie with that Bernie Bros in the weed. Yep, the weed state. Yeah, definitely Colorado.
Even with Klobuchar's endorsement, I think that Biden will still lose in Minnesota.
Think so?
Yeah.
Well, but people in Minnesota like Klobuchar. They've elected her a couple times. You think that her voice will sway? Or is like kind of the anti, like, don't say my name, Klobuchar. Take my name out of your mouth.
I don't know. I still think that like the Bernie Bros, they seem to have a more decent presence in the Midwest than they would in like the South.
Okay, that's fair. I can believe that.
Yeah, and I definitely think he'll take Massachusetts over. Like I see Elizabeth Warren taking second in Massachusetts.
So here's a question for you.
Yeah,
so
what's up?
Pete's got 38 delegates or whatever, and Klobuchar's got 7. Where do those get re-divvied up at the DNC?
They can choose to pledge their delegates to whomever they want.
So they choose. Pete chooses. Oh, that's fucking convenient.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, no. Now I thought it was chosen at the end, like they became super delegate-esque.
No, they
part of the 771
candidates pledged the delegates that were given to them. They pledged them to whomever candidate they think is the best representative for the party. And then let's not forget at the convention, super delegates.
So hypothetically, Joe's already in the lead then.
Hypothetically, yes, because the Democratic establishment doesn't like Bernie Sanders.
But but just on paper, because I'm sure Pete's, Tom's, and Amy's are going to Joe.
Yeah.
So as of right, but I'm sure they haven't written down yet. So as of right now, he has those 30, 40 more. So he's at 90.
Yeah, it's a presumptive lead, but there's still a lot more to get. You need.
There's another 1,300 on Tuesday. Yeah.
You need 1991, great year, but you need 1,991 delegates in order to have a secured nomination.
Right. Yeah. That 50% on the nose right there.
So should you not have it, you have
brokered, right?
Yeah, you have a really awkward Democratic convention, which I'd say is a very it's the most likely possibility that when asked on the debate stage at the Las Vegas debate,
right, in Nevada debate, yep, at the very last question.
Yeah, the question was, who should get the nomination? The person with the most votes, or should we use the democratic system to choose the nominee?
The one with the most votes, or the ones that have gotten the delegates and the policies that the DNC has built so far?
The only person who opposed the system was the person with the most votes right now, Bernie Sanders.
Because last time, they fucked him.
Yes, so you could definitely see a civil war situation where Bernie walks from the party if he doesn't get his nomination, and then Bernie bros don't vote for whoever the Democratic nominee is.
They may not vote for Trump, but not voting is also
Mhm.
valuable in and of itself. I know in 2016, after that shebang happened, Trump tweeted like, "Hey, Bernie bros, come over,
Yeah.
come on over." So we'll see how that runs
Got
down.
1/5. And also, during the Republican primary, Trump said that he wouldn't support whoever the nominee was if he wasn't the nominee. So that could have drastically crippled the Republican Party going into the 2016 election.
This election is rigged. And the other side says, no, it's not. And the other side says, yes, it is. Doesn't matter which side you choose. No one believes in the system when they lose.
Yeah, exactly. And with 771 super delegates on the table that pretty much are people who vote
For whoever.
Yeah, to correct your dumb people votes. Us smart people.
You people who... Also, the DNC wants to have popular vote elections, but when it comes to their mini elections, get the fuck out of here. We know it's good for you peons. Sit down. Sit down.
Sounds very bourgeoisie.
Ooh.
But pretty much super delegates tying into episode 2 was from George McGovern, the guy who Nixon was spying on, was the Democratic nominee. His policies were considered pretty socialist, and he lost in the biggest landslide in U.S. history.
The only state he won was his own.
Yeah, and
D.C. I think D.C. voted.
And it was after everything was out about Watergate. So Nixon
History
still
repeats
crushed
itself,
him.
baby.
So the
He was charismatic.
Yeah.
He was crazy. We love Dick Nixon, man.
So Tricky Dick, my man. Anyway. Yeah, so the Democratic Party after that point decided we're never going to let that happen again. We're going to choose the nominee, and that kind of bit them in the ass in 2016 with what they did to Senator Sanders.
And then this woman who ran the DNC gets fired. And who does she work for?
Yeah, she gets fired for having leaked emails that they were slanting the the election towards Hillary Clinton.
And then she goes and works for the Clinton Foundation.
Yeah, it's
real convenient. It's like a lobbyist.
Pretty sounds legit to me.
Yeah, too legit to quit, my man. Too legit to quit.
So yeah, going past Super Tuesday, it's gonna be interesting in a post Super Tuesday world to see exactly how the pieces land. I still think it's gonna be a neck and neck Biden-Sanders race. And let's talk about Bloomberg for a second. Mike Bloomberg's strategy failed miserably.
Money, money, money. Money. Spread that shit around.
Yeah, so he made the decision to not enter the race super late. He didn't enter in 2019. He enters in 2020. And then doesn't have his name on the ballot for the first 4 caucuses / primaries. But still enters the debate. So...
Well, he's got to get the public. He's got to get that public knowledge. Like, hey, I'm running. Like, not right now though. But I mean,
I don't know that from YouTube or like going on the internet.
We know who Michael Bloomberg is. Like, you don't have to publicize yourself. We know who you are.
Yeah,
also, you're paying people on Instagram to make good posts about you.
Yeah,
that's hilarious. Comment on my stuff and say, hey, I'm a cool dude. I'll pay you $100.
He certainly pays for people attending the debate. He got a lot of cheers despite having a very lackluster performance at the last debate.
Think he paid people to be in the stands?
I bet you. I mean, I haven't heard it.
Where are these jobs? I would love to get paid to sit around, do nothing, and yell at people.
Yeah,
like people get paid to get protest. Back right when Trump got elected.
Yeah,
they're like $18 an hour. I'm like, that sounds fun.
Yeah, Bloomberg, if you're listening, hit us up.
Demagogue News. We love. Actually, I love Michael Bloomberg.
He's the man.
Don't you love? Oh man, get part of the Bloom team.
You a
Zoomer, now you're a Bloomer. Come on, baby.
He's a benevolent billionaire. Like, don't.
Mike, please call us.
Yeah, please. But he pretty much made the case that every other moderate needed to drop out because nobody else was a plausible rival to Sanders but him. And Joe Biden just proved him colossally wrong for his giant victory in South Carolina.
Yeah, even though Biden probably forgot about that already by now. It's amazing you remember anything these days. The dude has gnarly Alzheimer's dementia. It's terrifying. He's the scariest one because, especially Iran-Contra, Reagan, I don't remember.
Yeah.
That was after a couple years. Biden can't remember right now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh man, Biden's freaking me out.
Yeah, keep an eye on who his VP is if he's the nominee, for sure.
Hill Dog coming back. Hill Dog 2020, baby. Yeah, so now it's a bunch of old people. We're just voting these old fucks.
Yeah, weird how these old rich white people are all running
Old
for...
rich white males.
Oh,
Where does this
man.
world come to, Tom? Where's the diversity? Because Warren's gonna be out soon. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
She's got 7. She's holding on, but she's gonna be out soon. Bloomberg, Bloomberg. You know, he's doing the Trump thing, but he doesn't have the steam of Trump.
No.
Because everyone was like, "Oh, Trump's just doing this for his name to get out there." Well, Bloomberg is doing that, and he's not, beating Ben Carson over the head.
No.
Or, Lil Rubio. Ain't no fun jokes like that. He's getting shit on
Yeah, because he
bad.
thought he could play nice, and that's not how...
And no one's doing that
No.
to anyone. Yeah, it's not going too well.
So we'll keep you posted. Definitely next episode on the Super Tuesday results.
Oh, yeah, the
and
fun times in all those states.
where this is floating towards.
If we even make it there. Because right now, I've seen posts on Facebook and Costco. There's a line out the door. The coronavirus has finally come to roost in the United States. I think 6 people have died in Washington so far. That's pretty bad.
Yeah.
I think the total count now for infections, if you believe the numbers, is that 90,000 people have the coronavirus and 3,000 people are dead. So that gives it a rate, I believe, of 3.5%.
The last I read was like 2.5%.
Still, that's worse than the influenza virus in the 1920s that killed.
Well, yeah, it mirrors the Spanish influenza.
Yeah,
like,
that killed like 20 million people. You think
Yeah.
Hitler is bad? How about these tiny little microbes that murder people? And we're going through that again. So now things have escalated to the point that now the CDC and the WHO are actually finally doing something about it when it comes to the U.S. Trump has done a couple things, and our
Yes.
boy Mike, you like the cock, get the shock, Pence. He's heading the coronavirus force. He's the one on the presidential cabinet that's going to be doing that. And coronavirus looks pretty bad. I mean, really not that bad, let's be honest.
It looks bad, but I honestly think it's super overhyped. Like, more people are dying of the flu right now in the United States than of coronavirus.
Yeah, the normal, just one you get shots for that we have the quote-unquote vaccine for, more people have died. Like, just in the U.S. and versus the whole world. And people are freaking out in South Korea and China and, But the normal flu is worse. But
yeah, so far. Yeah,
so far,
definitely.
yes, it's been pretty bad. But on the plus side, being that like 200 million people are quarantined in China, Chinese pollution is down like 80%. Amazing.
Yeah, if you're an environmentalist, you should commend coronavirus.
The coronavirus is doing better for the environment than anyone could have ever thought of.
So go on to our You Caring
It's like
page.
the planet's fighting back for the planet.
Oh
wow.
my God, is this the happening?
This is what Ron Paul warned us of? It might be. He told us about it. It might be. But yeah, the coronavirus, it's going around. I might be seeing it on Facebook a lot more. I know Corona alcohol sales are down. Unfortunately, they're getting related to that.
BS.
Hopefully they'll start reducing prices so we can afford to start buying that instead of Ducati.
Yeah. Also, Corona, we'll take a sponsorship.
Oh, I mean, we'll drink 6 beers an episode. We can do that in 5 minutes.
Yeah,
Sure.
for sure. No doubt. But just going over a little bit of Corona in the U.S., it's we have travel. What would you call it?
we have a new travel
screenings. I think of
well, that started. I feel about
January
a month ago.
31st, I think, was when it was enacted.
Yeah, where there's more technology in the airports. People coming in, if you get a fever, you get pulled over and detained for like an hour or so to feel you out. But Australia has cited their constitution to detain people at will to protect the disease.
Oh man, can you imagine having like a vendetta against someone? Like, yeah, that person, they're exhibiting some awful.
I think that
strange
person was in
symptoms.
China a couple weeks.
What? Oh, nani?
Taking them out. And you know what? I think that's the actual correct thing to do. We've instituted travel bans from Iran because of that, because they're not doing.
We have a travel ban on Iran, but also for people who have been in Iran recently, we have a travel
specifically for
screening
the coronavirus. Yeah, I think we should start locking shit down tight, because the one argument that could be said is that China is doing a good job because they've gone far past the post and they're like locking. People can't walk outside. There's no spreading around when you can't leave your house.
Yeah, I mean, you could say it from that perspective, but to play devil's advocate here, the fact that they fudge numbers and
who knows how many people are infected in China?
Yeah.
We don't. But if you're gonna lock people in your houses, you can't spread it if you can't go to the mall. Let's be honest. But at least let's lock down the airports. Let's make the ports of shipping, because this the virus can be on services for up to 28 days. Let's make it so it really can't get in. Let's not just beat around the bush here.
Yeah.
If this could be a really bad pandemic, it's not Ebola, hemorrhagic fever.
Ebola is horrific. It is definitely not Ebola.
But the plus side of Ebola is you die so fast you can't spread it.
Yeah.
This might be that happy.
You only spread it via like bloodborne pathogen. That's it.
Yeah, but you die so fast, like you're dead and it's over. This is the happy medium of like you could die and there's a good percentage, and you could just walk around and spread it around before you get really sick, and 1 + 1 = fun. So I think, in my personal opinion, that doesn't fucking matter. We need to start locking down airports. We need to start, maybe not, at the borders of states, but like let's be more, on the nose about
conscious about it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm definitely there with you on that. I don't think I'd ban all travel, like all international travel.
Not there. Not zombies yet.
Yeah. But I'm saying good, not to make light of the people who have died thus far, but from coronavirus in the United States, the only people who are either in critical condition or dead are people who are elderly and had underlying conditions to begin with.
So they just had, another thing on top of their own weight of problems. So in reality, not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah. And Washington State has per capita the highest amount of people with coronavirus.
With 6.
Yeah.
Yeah. So not doing too bad so far. Yeah. Not too bad. But on that point, apparently, the coronavirus isn't affecting children.
Yeah, that is super interesting, actually.
Like these childhood diseases that you don't have as an adult versus adult diseases that kids don't get. Children aren't really being affected by this. So that's just another interesting tidbit that's come out, is that kids, if you're younger than the age of like 13, like you're pretty scotch-free. It's pretty all right.
Almost makes it sound like it's engineered.
Another thing that's terrifying is that I was reading a scientific journal that the coronavirus does damage to kidneys and to testes.
Oh, no. Never mind. This is Public Enemy #1.
It's come right out of our deepest and darkest dreams. It might affect the male reproductive system.
Huh.
So we might have falling birth rates if this really does get bad. Because also, apparently, a Hong Kong doctor believes that it's possible that 60% of the world can be infected in one point or another in the next 2 years based on infection rates. And 60% of people in the world. Now, there's 7 billion people.
That's a lot of people.
60% of that is 4.2 billion people. And at the actual rates we have now, 1 to 2%, if we say it's like 1.3, it's not terrible. That's 54 million people that are going to die.
A heavy death count.
That's rough, bro.
That's a decently sized country.
Yeah, that's
like Italy right there.
All of Italy gone. Boom.
Well, I don't
half
know.
of Japan.
Like 60.
I know.
We'll say half of Japan.
Yeah, Japan's like $1.10. So half of Japan, just cut off Tokyo in half, and everything south gone, just disappears. That's rough. And hopefully that Hong Kong doctor is totally wrong, but whatever.
Yeah, I just think that the most interesting thing about Corona is how it's kind of being used as a political weapon in the upcoming election. So I've definitely heard Joe Biden and Michael Bloomberg say that Trump called it a Democratic hoax.
Yeah, I kept saying that. I don't know if he called it.
He didn't. He said, "No, don't get me wrong. It's bad, but it's not that bad. We have done more than anyone else in modern history to control the disease.
Always have Trump impersonations on this podcast. That's my favorite part.
It's the best, the greatest ever. But honestly, just on top of that, I think I've heard the term like Trump virus be sent out, even though it has nothing to do with Trump, other than the fact that he happens to be president of the United
What if
States.
Trump made a virus that only gets people who voted for Hillary Clinton?
That sounds like an amazing sci-fi movie.
You voted for the wrong person. Enjoy disease.
We just
pestilence. The green horse of death of pestilence comes.
And this knows very low serotonin levels, so the disease only attacks that.
And also Jeb. Very low energy Jeb.
Very
low energy.
But also the fact that the Dow Jones lost 10% of its value, mainly from interrupted supply lines in China,
and then today rebounded 11%.
Yeah, so
bounced up. So who knows what's going on?
Yeah, exactly.
Ain't nobody. Those gamblers in Wall Street just doing whatever. I mean, if it's the end of the world, like, invest now, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. If the economy tanks, invest definitely.
Bitcoin. There you go. That'll work when there's an internet. You'll be fine with your Bitcoin wallets. Yeah, invest in gold. Go call Alex Jones. Get some gold. Another interesting tidbit: Steve Wozniak, the other Apple guy.
Yeah.
Posted on Twitter yesterday that his daughter and his wife, about a couple weeks ago, were sick, and they recently made a trip to China.
Oh,
and they live in Washington.
Oh my God!
And they might possibly have been patient zero. Now, apparently that was a joke, and that's like the most not funny joke.
Oh, wait, he told that as a joke?
No, like it was satire. He later like pedaled back after everyone was like, "What the fuck, Steve? What do you mean?" He posted. Apparently that was a joke because it was just a normal sinus infection, but not the funniest joke in the world.
No.
when like, oh, you brought Apple into this world and now you're gonna take us all out? Is that what's gonna happen, Steve? Are you jealous? Are you jealous of Steve Jobs? Yeah. Coronavirus is it's going around.
Yeah,
we'll
so
see.
Definitely
wash your hands.
Yeah, wash your hands. Don't kiss people on the cheek when you greet them if you happen to be European in the slightest.
Or Joe Biden.
Oh yeah, or Joe Biden. He loves.
Don't hug too long.
Loves that. But yeah, definitely. As long as coronavirus is a thing, we'll keep giving updates on it.
Yeah, interesting tidbit. A lot of preppers though right now. You think it's prep time? Maybe we should go to Costco and start buying up all the water so we could sell it at 1,000% markup.
As of right now, I don't think it's doomsday.
No, I don't think so. And I think if it is doomsday, maybe Bernie's right. We have to rely on the government. Although Trump pulled a lot of money out of FEMA, so maybe we got to figure it all out by ourselves.
Yeah, that's the America that I want.
That's the America, yeah.
Pull us up by
I believe in.
Cure ourselves with our bootstraps.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, though, pretty sure that's all you need to know.
That's all you need to know this week. End of the world for the Democrats. End of the world right now for everybody else. I don't know. It's fun. We'll find out.
Stay posted.
Yeah.